Hi, people. This is Damien XLT Podcast, episode 23. I have one of the coolest people I know, and Jeremy's here. Jeremy Wagner.
Michael Jordan's number was 23.
Exactly.
So,
The Jordan episode.
the Jordan episode, otherwise known as GOAT.
The GOAT. The GOAT. So, are you the GOAT of Saigon comedy?
Like, old GOAT. I'm probably like the oldest comedian here. JK's older than me, so maybe not.
Yeah. He's up there. He's top 5.
Alright, I'll take that.
Top 5. Yeah, so we're here at the, I won't tell everybody where you live, but it's a beautiful high-end condo residence. There's a beautiful pool behind me. And as you can see, we're on the pool chairs. Yeah, so we're at Jeremy's crib.
Yeah, I sleep in a hammock in those trees back there.
Jeremy's just squats here. And, all right, so Jeremy, I don't really know this. Where are you from? Everyone's saying Louisiana, Texas, Idaho.
Idaho.
Somewhere.
I think somebody was just calling me a hoe.
Oh.
I'm not from Idaho. I was born in Michigan, which is the one that looks like a hand. People from Michigan, they're like, yep, this is where I'm from, right there.
Right.
That's where I was born, right there in the center of the hand. We lived in Louisiana for a long time when I was young, and Michigan. Those two places, that's where I grew up.
Nice.
9 years in both places, I guess.
Nice. And then you moved to Texas when you're
18.
18.
Yeah. And I tell everybody Texas because I lived there for 15 years, so it was longer than any of the other places that I lived. And also, when you tell people you're from Texas, they think you have a gun.
Yeah.
So they don't want to, like, steal your hammock, you know,
Yeah.
when you're sleeping outside.
But in reality, Michigan, you're more likely to have a gun, right?
I have a gun in Michigan.
Yeah.
Texas says I can't have a gun.
When you're
So
born, they just give you one, right? In Detroit.
it was my dad. I wasn't from Detroit, but yeah, probably in Detroit you get your grandfather's gun.
Right.
You know, he's giving up the pimping game and he's gonna pass it on to the next generation. Just
Nice.
my gun. It's like a little, 22, little small gun.
Okay, 22.
They had a 20 gauge. We shot rabbits. That's what we did.
Nice. Shotgun, huh?
Yeah.
That's good. So we established kind of where you're from, all right?
Kinda. Yeah.
Still kind of confused. Then when did you move to Vietnam?
Almost, 7 years ago. Over 7 years. Almost 8 years in Asia. So about 7.5 years, I guess. I've lived here in Vietnam
Nice.
since 2015.
And what brought you here? How did you hear about it? Like how did you?
Well, on the airplane ride to Asia, I stopped in Thailand first, but I watched a movie called Full Metal Jacket. I did. It's one of my favorite movies. I wanted to come to Vietnam because of the war. Like, that's all that I known about Vietnam was the war. So I wanted to come here, and I had this idea that I was gonna help the Vietnamese people understand that all Americans are not bad people.
You of all people gonna?
That was my idea. So I learned some Vietnamese. I could not speak it at all. And then I got on the airplane and I went to Thailand, I went to Malaysia, and then I came here.
Nice. And you lived here for like 8 years.
Almost.
Have you ever lived anywhere else abroad?
I stayed in Thailand for a month. Not in the same place. I was in 3 different places. I stayed in the same hostel in Malaysia for 3 months, or about 2.5 months, I guess. And then I don't know. I'm not sure I really like traveling. Maybe it's because I don't have any money to do all the things that traveling entails. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to Cambodia, I just hang out in Cambodia in my hotel room and not do much because I don't have any money.
Right.
So I did that in everywhere I went. It's like, I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks because I don't have enough money to go anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did when I went there. What do you think about Cambodia? Big fan or what?
I like Cambodia. It's all right. It's not really much stuff to do there. I guess that's all right. Yeah, I don't know. It's all right. It's not my favorite place, but it's also not that bad.
I like it.
I did comedy over there. I have a few friends that live over there, so that's kind of cool to have people to hang out with. Doing comedy, I think that's one of the reasons I stayed in Vietnam for so long, because it was just so easy to do. I mean, you go to an open mic in America, it's like $20, you know, you're gonna buy like 3 or 4 beers, you spend 15, 20 bucks, and it's gonna take you fucking 5 hours or more to like do that open mic. So here it was a lot less people, a lot cheaper to just go out for the night, spend like $5 on some beers, and then that's it. And I can do it a lot. So again, like if I'm going to one open mic, it costs $5. Whereas in the US, you go to an open mic, it's like $10 maybe at least for a couple beers. But then you got to get in your car and drive home, or get in your car and drive to another open mic located some other place in the city. And so it's just a lot of driving, a lot of expensive stuff in living in Texas and Dallas.
Yeah.
So then when I got here, I was like, oh, it's cheap. I can do comedy like every night. I started joining some shows that they were putting on in the city. And then I've had my own shows. I've had my own open mics. So it's pretty good. I like it here. Mainly because of comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't have to work as much.
Yeah. So you've been here for 8 years. How many years were you doing comedy back home before you came here?
Like 11 total.
11 years.
That's
nice.
I don't know. I don't remember when the very first time was, but I have a video of the second time, and that was in August of 2012.
Okay.
So now it's January 2023. So 11 years.
Going on 11 or 11.
But again, that was just open mic. I never did, well, we did, in my days in Dallas, I did one show. It was like 25 or so people. We were supposed to get paid $10 for 10 minutes, but we never got any money. And so I did one show, kind of, sort of, in Dallas before I came here. And then went up on stage in Malaysia just one time. And then I came here, and I had a friend who was supposed to travel with me. He gave me advice. He said, you know, if you want to do comedy in Vietnam, look up this guy. We're not going to mention that guy's name because he doesn't do comedy anymore. But look up this guy. And I did, and then I found the group, and I guess that's how it all started.
Sweet. So 11 years now, and then this year you're doing your first special.
Yeah.
Doing
That's
a special.
the goal.
That's the
That
goal.
is the
That
goal.
is. I thought it's written in stone, baby.
Pretty much. I mean, I already did a bunch of the work.
I'm rooting for him. I think he's ready.
He has to say that because he's in the show, so he has to say that.
I'm rooting for this show to happen because I'm gonna host it, and that'd be cool. Especially if it gets on Netflix, then you gotta put me saying, Jeremy Wagner.
I don't think that they're gonna just give a random guy Netflix.
Stop thinking like that, man. I told you.
But yes, that's what we're shooting for. We're gonna Netflix. Hello. Yes.
Netflix, hello.
Netflix, hello.
Jeremy Wagner.
Yes, I am very sorry. I did not pay my bill last month. I will send that over. Okay, thank you, Netflix.
He's made for it. He's gonna do it. So your special is gonna be called.
I almost forgot.
Nice. That's
No,
the
I
name.
almost forgot what it's going to be called. Oh, I almost forgot. That's the name of the special.
That's gonna be the name of the special,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be
March
next month.
5th.
March 5th.
March 5th, which is my birthday.
Gonna film it. It's 41st birthday.
41st, yeah.
Yeah.
41.
That's perfect, man. Everything's lining up, man. All the stars are aligning.
Sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes it doesn't. I think before I didn't set goals in my life. So like last year, at the end of the year, I said I want to do these things, and the special was one of them. And now that the year's over, I didn't complete one of the things that I was supposed to do, but I got a lot of work done on it. It's a book that I'm writing. But then, yeah, special is next on the list of things to do.
Nice.
And then make some more goals. I think it's good. It's kind of helped me to keep focus on things that I need to, whereas opposed to thinking about other things. So I think it's been really good the last few months of like having goals.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of those life hack things people say you gotta do.
Yeah, you should have goals like every year, 6 months or whatever. What do you want to do?
Yeah. And it's working. It's working. The man's doing his thing. Let's see what else. Oh, we're in a play together like last month. What was it? 2 months ago?
November.
Yeah. That's on my YouTube channel. I took it down, but then I put it back up. So it's back up now.
Yeah, that was one of my goals, was to do that show.
Yeah.
We did it. We rocked it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it's called Friendly Fire. We play mob, members of the mob. That's all I'll tell you. Gotta watch it. Yeah, shooting each other.
Somebody dies. That's all we can say.
Yes. And what else do you do? So I want to ask you about the skydiving. Okay, so you used to skydive almost every day, right?
No, just that on the weekends.
Okay, on the weekends.
But pretty much once every couple of weeks I was jumping out of an airplane.
And that's, people say you get addicted to the adrenaline rush. Is that true?
Yeah, I would say so. It was, I don't know, I guess it's just like going on stage, the first time, you're very nervous. You're like, this is something I want to do. I want to jump out of a plane. I want to go tell jokes at the open mic. But it's really difficult. And then when you like get to the stage, all of that anxiety type of feeling goes away. And the same thing happens like with the airplane. You're like sitting in the airplane. You're like, I'm about to jump out of the plane. I'm freaking out. I'm scared. But it's something I want to do. All my friends are going to make fun of me if I don't go. So you're scared. Then they open the door and it's like, you can't back out now. Everybody's going. And then once you like, there's a famous quote. It says, the edge. Only the people who've went over the edge know where the edge is. So, you're falling off the cliff. You're like, oh, there's the edge. I can see where the edge is. But most people don't know where the edge is because they won't ever get close enough to the edge.
Yeah.
So when you cross that line, like the stage, or you cross the line of the airplane, you can't go back. You can't fly back up and grab the airplane and stop the skydive. You can't stop your stand-up. You can, but you're not going to. You could pull your parachute, but then you're still 13,500 feet in the air with a parachute with only these little leg straps holding you from just falling all the way to the ground. So that's pretty scary as well. So, yeah, I believe that things that scare you are the things that you need to do, because those are the things that scare you are going to teach you something. The things you don't want to do is the things that will help you to grow and to learn. So, My brain says go home. For a long time, it's been telling me that, but I'm scared. I don't want to go home.
Yeah. So you're contemplating moving back out of Vietnam and back to America or the States.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, that's what everything says to me. Like my grandma, she's all old and stuff. I don't have a job here. I mean, I got some jobs, but it's kind of really slow with money. So that's kind of making it difficult to stay, no job. I have to do visa runs every month with no money. So, I mean, at some point that's going to run out. I owe my housemate a bunch of money. I don't want to go. But, yeah, maybe. Who knows? That's one reason for the special. You know, if you go back, at least I was gone for 7 years. I have something to show for it. You know, I have a book that I hopefully finish before I go back. I have a special that I recorded that, you know, I can show off. Here's something that I did. I didn't just sit around and drink. Oh yeah, I made a baby. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty significant.
Yeah, maybe.
Someone.
The woman doesn't really like me. We don't really like each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we did at one point.
It's rough when, yeah. Women do that kind of thing, man.
So that's kind of strange. I don't know what the plan is. I mean, I definitely want to stay in my kid's life and try to be there and supportive and stuff like that. But then I don't have anything keeping me here, so it's kind of difficult.
Yeah. Family, you gotta go see your family. Yeah. But you could always come back.
Yeah.
If you need a job, man, I got you, bro. Told you that.
That lady said Ben Hoa.
I got another job for you.
And then I was like, no, I don't really want to work in Ben Hoa. I want to stay in the city. And then she sends me a different city. It's even farther than Ben Hoa. She's like, how about you work here? I was like, that's not in Ho Chi Minh City. She's like, no, you just move here. No, I'm not going to do an open mic in the middle of Vietnam where there's no Westerners. So.
Yeah. Saigon's the best place. You gotta be in Saigon.
Yeah.
But I'll hook you up with a job.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. If you want to
Go get married to the baby mama and then just get the 5-year residence card and not have to do anything. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. And I'll just live at her house and drink beer with her dad. That was a joke.
Oh. Sounds like a good solution.
But she
to
does
me.
live with her parents, so
Of course.
you go move in with my grandchildren, my grandparents.
In-laws.
In-laws, yeah. It's
Why
probably
not?
go over really well.
People do, man. People do that. I got a joke that Vietnam's now deporting the Americans, and Americans are trying to marry for green cards here now.
That is very true.
It's a trip.
Very true.
It's a trip. That's my joke. Yes. So, let's get back. Let's do a little more on the comedy. So recently you've been hosting the show at Soma.
Yeah.
You revamped it,
Yeah.
rebranded it.
Yeah. The old person who had it, I don't think many people really liked that person.
Yeah.
So we had to change the name, change the flyer. It went pretty well. We had our first show with the new name this year. First new show this year. Happened on Sunday. I think we had 17 paying customers. And then there was a few comedians, and then they brought plus ones. So I would say there's probably about 25 people that was there. So I'd say it's a pretty decent show. Felt good.
Yeah.
We had a couple of people that didn't do the show previous because maybe they didn't like that previous host, And then they did the show on Sunday, so I felt good about that. So instead of having 5 performers that I cycle through every month or every few months, we have more. We have like 10 now because people were coming back.
They're like you, man.
Just the performing, I think that's it. But yeah, they don't dislike me, but they did dislike the previous guy. So yeah.
You know who you are.
He's not watching this.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to him.
Oh.
Say, look at the 20-minute mark. Talking shit about you. Yeah. So what do you think? So the rebranding, everything brought fucking 25 people to the show. That's pretty big for Saigon on a Sunday.
Especially it's
During
with the
tax
holiday.
season.
Yeah, the holiday's fast approaching. There's a bunch of people that I know that live here that have went on vacation. So maybe even next month or the next couple of months, the numbers might even be bigger than 25. I would like to think so. I think Soma's a pretty good venue for comedy shows.
Yeah.
I would say one of the best, but it probably is the current best for a show on a continuously running show. So that's good. If we can make it better, then that would be great.
Yep.
Especially if I could get more money for myself.
Yeah.
Maybe not for all the comedians, but at least for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like a job, even though, it's not, like I didn't prepare anything. I just went up there on the stage and started the show.
Yeah.
Some things popped into my mind. We told some jokes, brought up the rest of the people. So I don't really do a lot, but it still seems like a lot of work because getting the people together. Another person didn't show up this time. I think that guy's kind of getting out of comedy. He says that all the time, but then you'll see him doing comedy again. So I asked him, and then he just was like, I can't make it tonight. So we replaced him, but that was good. We're doing all right. Everything's good. It's not so bad.
So that's hosting. Hosting is like a different animal, way different animal than just coming up and doing your stand-up routine, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you want to make people interested in the show, get their attention. So tell some jokes, but also you try to interact with the crowd. You try to make sure that everybody's ready for the show, and you make the other comedians look good. So it's like not about you, it's about the show. It's about the comedians. So you don't want to go up there and be talking for 30 minutes. Like, oh crap, let me bring up these other guys after I did 30 minutes of jokes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's different. It's interesting. It's all right. I'm not really good at talking to people, but it's just something new, new things to work on, new things to practice.
Nice.
So it's fun. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do an all right job.
You do. You do a great job.
Probably could be better, but everything could be better.
Stop being so hard on yourself. You do great, man.
I'm just saying, there's always room for improvement, is what I'm saying.
I gotta tell this guy every fucking 2 days, man. Come on. You have faith in yourself, man. You're doing great.
I think
Good for you.
I think I'm gonna smoke this cigarette here, and the rules say no smoking by the pool. But one thing I notice about Vietnamese people, if they see a rule, then they will immediately break it. Because down here at the end of my street, there's a sign that says no right turns. Everybody fucking turns right. Everybody drives the opposite way into traffic. Like leaving on the bike, we left my house, we're in the main street. There's a one-way street out here. The grab bike guy, it's dark. Headlights just all pointing at us. Like the sign says no. I could read the sign and I can't read Vietnamese, but I know it says do not enter. And we're just driving. So the sign said no smoking. that guy's over there. He's gonna catch us. But also, there's a girl in the swimming pool, and it says you cannot swim in clothes, and she's in clothes. So, fuck those rules.
Yeah,
Another selling point to live in Vietnam.
it's true.
Fuck the rules.
The rules are kind of optional here.
Suggestions.
You never really see police here.
You might not want to drive down this one-way street, but you can.
It's kind of like this is a shortcut, but are you aggressive enough to fucking risk your life to take it?
Yeah.
Like today, I was coming over here, I fucking ran across a 6-lane highway. No, it's probably like
I
lane.
did that a few times as well. And I remember whenever I was a kid, I was like, see somebody crossing the highway, like, what a dipshit.
Yeah.
That guy's gonna get fucking hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then I did it drunk a few times, and I'm like, oh shit, now I'm one of those dumbass people crossing the highway.
Yeah,
But I survived.
it's not that hard. It's not as hard as it looks. I'll tell you that.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not so bad here because that has like a light, so you can stop, you know.
No, I went in the middle.
Oh, you just did
Yeah.
oh, okay. Well, that's probably dangerous because if you at least you go by the light, then the cars are stopped.
No, I wasn't smart about it. But yeah, Vietnam, you're gonna miss it, man. You move back. you're gonna
When
be
I
like,
when I first
"Damn."
left, I was kind of scared to leave because I'm an alcoholic. I do drugs. I've do a fair share of dumb things. So I was like, I want to go travel, but also I don't want to be in a foreign country and get into some kind of trouble and not be able to get out of it. So my friend, he said, I'm going traveling, you should come with me. So we agreed to meet and go together, and then at the last minute, he bailed out, kind of. And so I ended up traveling by myself. So it was pretty scary to do it. Like when I first bought the ticket, I was pretty scared.
Right.
And then I bought the ticket, and now I'm kind of, like I said, scared to go back home.
Yeah.
So like I'm comfortable here now. I feel good living in Vietnam. I feel good going to any of the other countries that are not America.
Yeah.
Just seems like America, like it seems like many times in life it feels like a video game, you know, like things repeat. You know, if you didn't do something, then you have to go back and do that certain thing before you can advance to the next level. I don't know where that was going.
You can skip a level. Warp zone. Go to
Yeah, but
Mario.
it's gonna come back, you know, like it's like one of those things that like if you don't learn this lesson, then later on in life you're gonna repeat the same lesson. And you're gonna keep doing it until you learn the lesson. You know, like the example with the camera.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful, you get your camera stolen, and then you have to buy a new camera.
First time anything's been stolen from me here. First time.
So,
But I learned my lesson. Yeah.
but yeah, so I think that
The bag goes on the front.
it's it's weird. Like the same thing that, like I said, the fear that I had of coming to Asia is now the same. It's like we live in a video game. It just seems like it's a lot easier to die in the American version,
Yeah.
even though it's really dangerous and chaotic in Vietnam.
Yeah.
You ran across the highway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty dumb. But like, it's a lot easier to die in the American video game than it is to die in the Vietnamese video game.
Yeah. Here, like the food's cheap, your apartment's cheap, everything. Like you could survive off a part-time job like pretty nicely. I mean, look at this pool. Look at this. This guy has a freaking pool the size of a fucking football field.
Well, like
A goalie box.
living in Dallas, I think I made decent money. I was making like $18 an hour at the end. So I mean, each 2 weeks, you know, $1,500. So that's pretty good money. But it was basically enough to have an apartment so that I can go home after work and sleep and eat and then wake up in the morning so I can go to work. Like, I didn't really have a lot of extra things. I had a parachute. That kind of paid for itself over time. I had a car. My grandma paid for the car, but like I didn't have health insurance. My grandma paid for my car insurance. And then I have a little spending money every month to go out with friends, like maybe once or twice. But most of the time, sit at home and don't do anything because you don't have any money.
Yeah.
So work 40 hours a week to have nothing. And then I come here and I work maybe 20 hours a week to have nothing. I mean, I do got this nice pool to go swimming in, which I didn't have before. So now I got a swimming pool. I've used it twice. So yeah, now I work half the amount of time. I still have nothing. I don't really want anything. I have all the stuff I need. So it just makes more sense to probably should be saving for retirement, but who knows? Probably never make it there. So just get that shotgun.
Yeah, like, what do you think? 65?
65 is, yeah, I'll be good if I make it that far.
Shotgun?
Yeah. I don't have any health insurance. I'm probably going to have to. My mom, that's what my mom said. I was like, what happens when you get old? She's like, oh, just take me out in the field and shoot me. Like, I'm not going to go, you take the gun and go shoot yourself? Like, I'm not going to fucking shoot my mom in the face with a shotgun.
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
yeah.
as much as I would like to, I hope she's not watching. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll
I
send
wouldn't
it to
want to
her.
kill my mom.
Tell her, look at the 32-minute mark.
Shit.
All right, we got 2 people we just roasted. Who else?
I don't know.
That's enough.
There's a long list. I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out which one is gonna listen,
Next.
and that way we can, you know. Yeah, so I'd say everything's pretty good. Everything is going really good.
Yeah.
Some things could go better, but again, room for improvement.
Yeah.
Always try to get better.
Yeah, it's like how you look at it too, man. Like, shit. Like a lot of people complain, but they're fucking doing better than 90% of the population of the world, you know?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to complain about.
Yeah.
I mean, other than not having money, but it's not a really big deal. I have enough money. I just don't have like a backup fund.
Yeah, nobody does nowadays.
That's true. Yeah, I had like saved up $12,000 during COVID from working and stuff, and then immediately after lockdown was over, it was gone. I don't know how the fuck it went so quickly. But it was like I take out $2,000. I owe my friend $1,000, so I take out $2,000 and like, all right, this should last me for another month. I'll pay her back. I have enough money for the next month, and then 2 weeks later, I'm taking out another $1,000. Like, how the fuck did I spend so much money? I don't know, but yeah, it's gone. I bought some Bitcoin. That was pretty good.
There you go. There's your retirement.
Yeah, but I sold it. I made $900.
Oh, never mind.
Profit, anyways.
Profit.
It was up to $6,000. I put in $1,200. It was up to $6,500 at one point, and then when I sold it, it was at 2,100.
Damn.
So, still made money. That's good.
Good. Good. Bitcoin. Bitcoin extraordinaire.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Bitcoin bought me a new laptop. That's what I say.
Sweet.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Nice, nice. So, if you have any Bitcoin questions, direct them to him.
No, I don't know anything.
He profited. Yeah. So this is fun, man. Last time we did it, we were on Pham New Lao Street and it was pretty wild. This time we're chilling by the pool, learn our lesson.
Damien got a subscriber the last time. She's probably looking for that episode and it's not coming out.
Yeah, she has my camera. That's why it's not coming out, lady. All right, 35-minute mark, lady.
Roasted.
Nice. Roasting. You did a few roasts here, right?
Yeah. I've done some online roasts as well. Those are fun. I get to make fun of somebody. Yeah.
I'm not a big roasting guy. I never tried it yet. Oh yeah, I did one. James' birthday.
Yeah, it's a little difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's more like a personal thing, you know, like, and then if the audience doesn't really know that person that's getting roasted, then it's like, I don't understand the joke.
Yeah.
But like the person getting roasted is laughing their ass off because it's like something of a situation that happened between these two people or something. So for an audience, a roast may be a little difficult because they may not know the person or know of some of the things that person has done. So then when they hear jokes about it, they're like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun to watch.
Comedy's fun.
Yeah. And Jeremy's like I've been doing comedy for 1 year, stand up, and Jeremy taught me a lot. He's been doing it 10 years. So I've been learning from him. You got any tips for like a first timer? Someone, what do you think? Someone that wants to do it but's too scared. What do you think?
Well, somebody asked me that one time, and they said, how do you do that? And I was like, well, you go home, you try to think of some funny things that you want to talk to people about. You want to, maybe you got some funny stories or something, and then you just put your name on the sheet and do it. Each time you try to listen, you try to record what you said, you try to edit and make it better, and sometimes you just got to throw things away, like, this isn't good right now, so we'll put it over here, we'll find it later, and we'll make it better later. So, yeah, it's always, you learn about yourself, you learn about things around you, but yeah, just keep doing it. Like, I think any type of activity or hobby or habit that you want to do, you just gotta do it. So I think with comedy, something I've always known, but I don't really do it enough, or I didn't in the beginning especially, is write. So if you want to do comedy, I would say that you need to write. You need to sit down and write every day, a few minutes, even if it's just putting shit into the computer, like today I gotta do this, today I gotta do this, tomorrow I gotta go buy groceries, I got a dentist appointment. Get all of that stuff out of your head, and then once you get all of that stuff on the paper, then you can start with like something else. So I just do like, not every day, but I try to do like 17 minutes. I'll set my alarm for 17 minutes, and then I just type. So whatever comes, to my mind. If I can't think of something, and like you type out the word, or like you see, okay, I see a pool, I see a life preserver, I see some chairs out by the pool and an umbrella, I see some guys doing a podcast. Okay, I did a podcast one time, it was about this. So you just write everything that comes to your mind, and then typically by the time you get to that alarm clock, it'll go off, and you're in the middle of a story that you want to finish. Like whatever it is, you're just like, okay, shut the alarm off, finish the story.
Yep.
So you can maybe use that story for your stand-up. Maybe again you don't, but you wrote, and that feels good. Even if you don't need to, even if you're not writing a joke, it feels good to just put some shit in the paper. And then again, maybe you'll never read that stuff. Maybe no one will ever read it. But it's wrote down. It's a document. in your notebook. It's on your computer, wherever it is. So you can always come back to it later. But I think most important thing with doing comedy is writing. And I guess getting on stage and doing it in front of other people. But writing is very important.
Yeah, make a habit. Yeah. Habit is more important than being good at it, right? Like you show up every day, you're gonna get better no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if you're just a beginner, right? So you gotta show up every day and do it.
Gotta practice, gotta keep doing that habit, building on that habit. Every day you learn something new.
Yeah, man, this guy is actually pretty smart. When you get past the whole this.
Okay. That's like the second person I've ever heard tell me that I'm smart. Recently, I guess. And it's hard to accept sometimes. But maybe it's true. Maybe it appears that way. Maybe Damien's just really dumb and it's easy to look smart.
Right. Yeah. That could be it.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. But nah, man, you got some very good knowledge, man. Things you say sometimes are just
But
wow.
then sometimes
Where did that come from?
the things that I say, yeah, like sometimes I surprise myself.
Yeah, that's good.
What the hell are you talking about? I don't know.
Yep. Let's see. We got any more topics? I think we got all the topics. We just wrote some down.
Well, like I skipped over the skydiving.
Yeah. Tell us more.
Like I went skydiving with my dad for the first time, and that was pretty fun. I've been skydiving with my dad 2 times now. I have my own parachute, so it's pretty cheap to go skydiving now. It's like $25 a jump.
Do you have it here?
No, it's probably too old to even use it now because it's been in storage for 7 years. So probably not usable anymore. But I bought it used. I had it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So I used it over 150 times or more.
Yeah.
So it like paid for itself basically. Because you could rent it from the place. You can rent one of theirs, and that costs you like $25. So one skydive would cost you $50 if you're renting it. So when I was in the beginning, I just took out a loan, and I found a used one, and I bought the used one, and then I paid the loan off over 2 years or something like that. And each like if I made 150 skydives at $25 a piece, that's enough to pay back my loan. So the skydive, the gear paid for itself basically.
How much does a parachute cost?
Brand new, probably like $5,000 or $6,000.
Holy shit! For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's something that's gonna save your life.
Yeah.
Every time you use it, it's supposed to save your life. So I guess you wouldn't really want to skimp on that, like.
Buy a used one.
Mine was used, but so there's like 3 parts. There's 4 parts. There's the container, which is like the backpack that you wear. You got your main parachute, you got your reserve parachute, and then you have an automated activation device. So if you're falling at a certain speed, at a certain height above the ground, then this thing will just automatically make your parachute come out. So if you're knocked unconscious and you're falling to your death, you can't pull the parachute, then the parachute opens for you. And that was the most expensive thing for me when I bought the used parachute. So I think the 2 parachutes in the container were the same price as this one thing, but this thing I bought brand new, and the other 3 things were used. But yeah, I bought it, take it in for an inspection by a person who's certified by the FFA, Federal, I don't know what.
Aviation Administration.
Yeah. So he looked over it, made sure everything's all right, and then yeah, jump out of the plane. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm scared to do it now,
Yeah.
but yeah, very fun. Definitely something you should try if you haven't done it before.
Yeah. Skydiving to comedy, man. It's a different rush.
Yeah.
It's still a rush. Like, you're not gonna die, but you're gonna. If you bomb, it feels like you die.
Yeah.
This is better to bomb on stage than bombing literally out of a parachute.
Yeah. I have known. Well, I don't think I've known anybody who died skydiving, but I know a guy who broke his back. He's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I know a couple people who broke legs and things like that skydiving. I used my backup parachute one time. That was kind of scary. We did some fun stuff. We jumped out of a plane with one of those big floaty rafts for the river, with the paddle oars. We had some girls inside, and then there was all these guys around the outside. Did like a hula hoop dive. We did there's this thing called a speedball. It's like a baseball. It's full of lead, and you just throw it, and it falls at the same speed as everybody else, so you just fucking catch it. It's pretty cool. Jumped out of a hot air balloon. Jumped out of a couple of different airplanes. Never a helicopter, but that was available. So yeah, pretty fun.
Crazy.
I have some friends who do base jumping off of buildings and things like that. Yeah.
I always wonder, how easy is it to hit the target? Like, you're fucking way up in the sky, right? And then you jump out of an airplane. How do you even see the target? How do you land? Like, there's a field.
Just the wind, as you're on the ground, the wind speed is a certain speed. As you go up higher, the wind is faster because there's no buildings or trees or anything like that to block it or to slow the wind down. So in the morning they would look at they call it winds aloft. So like 5,000 feet, the wind is blowing this way. And it would be like different directions sometimes at different levels. So like it's blowing this direction 15 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. So then the pilot looks at that stuff, and then basically they put themselves in a position. So you're only going to be falling through those things at, like certain levels. So, you're up here, you may move a little bit, and then when you pull your parachute, you have like steering toggles. You can go left, you can go right, you could slow yourself down, you can make yourself go faster.
How long are you free falling for?
About a minute.
Okay.
So we jump out of the plane at 13,500 feet, and then you fall for about a minute. You open your parachute at 1,000 or at 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
And then, you're not supposed to open lower than that.
Yeah.
And then you find out where you are.
Yeah.
I don't know, you pick like a spot on the ground,
Right.
and is that spot moving away from you, or is that spot coming closer to you?
Yeah.
And you can judge like your movement. If it's a windy day, you're probably not going to make it back. Like sometimes you would just land in some field and then maybe walk back, or if it was really far away, like when we went in the hot air balloon, you can't steer the hot air balloon, so you're just basically going with the wind.
Yeah.
So we landed, I don't know, a couple miles away from where we started, and some guy just pulls up in his truck. He's like, "Oh, you guys are skydivers, you need a ride?" We're like, "Yeah, we need a ride." He's like, "All right, jump in."
Yeah.
He just gave us a ride back. They're like, "I always see you guys jumping out of planes, that's crazy. Never came over there." Like, yeah, come
Nice.
over, do it. Yeah.
Nice. So you never landed in like a tree or nothing, like the
No.
movies. You're like hanging.
I don't think I really
Cut
had
yourself out.
any bad landings.
Nice.
I don't think I had any really bad things like that, no.
Nice.
But there has been, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now I heard this lady jumped out of the plane, parachute didn't open, and she landed in mud,
Yeah?
and she lived. Because water, the surface tension is very hard. Bam,
Oh yeah, it'd be
you're
like
toast.
concrete. It's like hitting a concrete sidewalk or something.
The regular ground, you're toast. You're
Probably, yeah.
You're pancaked. But if you land in mud, the mud creates surface tension, breaks the surface tension of the water enough.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's been people that fell out of planes without parachutes, and they've landed in like trees and things like that, and they've survived. You want to look for something that's soft. Yeah, the ground is not soft, the water's not soft. Mud, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it would be hard, but it would also be absorbent, so I don't know.
Saw it on Facebook.
You definitely can. I'm sure that there's definitely been people that have survived big falls,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they did it, but it's happened.
Yep. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, skydiving was pretty crazy because it was like, we're going to do something fun, but, if shit goes wrong, you always have to know your emergency procedures.
Yeah.
That's your emergency procedure. You always have to be kind of like looking around. If you're under a parachute, you don't want to fly into another person and crash because that parachute's going to collapse. Maybe things get tangled up together, and then you both fall to the ground.
What do they call it? Death spiral or something?
Possibly a death spin or something
Death
like
spin,
that.
yeah.
So you're always just aware of what's happening, and kind of the same thing like living here. Try to make sure that I'm aware of what's happening around me. For example, your camera.
Yeah.
You're in a foreign place. Lots of things are happening.
Yeah.
You always gotta keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you know what's happening around you so that you can be prepared to react to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're like, I'm gonna leave. We're gonna go skydiving. We're gonna have fun, and then at the end of it, somebody's dead.
Yeah.
That's never happened to me, but it was a possibility. That like you jump out of a plane, you die.
Yeah. It's not tiddlywinks,
But it was definitely fun. Definitely one of the funnest things that I used to do.
And I gotta try it because ever since COVID, I've been doing things that I'm afraid of. Heights, I've always been kind of scared of heights. I did a bee farm thing where I was holding the honey and the bees were all over me with no fucking mask. I did that.
Nice.
I went underground. I went to Coochie tunnels. I'm claustrophobic, so maybe my last thing is to jump out of an airplane. I'll do it one of these days. People do it when they're old. I could wait.
It's not really like many people are like, whoa, is it like a roller coaster? You go up the hill, you go down the hill, you lose your stomach.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's kind of like an elevator, basically. You're falling.
Yeah.
You don't really notice that you're falling. I mean, you notice that you're falling because of everything around you, but like your body doesn't feel like you're falling.
Yeah.
Out of a balloon, it's different, but out of an airplane, you don't feel like you're falling. It's like elevator type of thing.
Yeah.
But you can go two different ways on your first time. You can, depending on where you're at, you could go by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I had to do like a training course. It's like an 8-hour class that we sat through. We learned everything about the parachute and how to work it and all these different procedures for things that we had to do. And then or you can go strapped to somebody and they'll just do all the work for you.
I'll probably do that.
That'd be the easiest way,
Yeah.
you know, because, like I said, I want to do this. Me and my friends have got on the airplane. We're all gonna jump out at the same time. We're gonna do some flying around each other and things like that. And then you're like, oh, but I'm scared. Or maybe I'm a little stoned.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just woke up and I'm hungover from last night. So it was always like in my mind, like, oh man, I'm scared. And then they open the door and it's like, okay, it's time to go. Like, you've got on the airplane. You've done this before. The same with stand-up. Like, you know, you do bad. Maybe that next time coming back, maybe not for me, I don't really bother me anymore, but like for a person who doesn't really do well, then it could be discouraging because they wouldn't want to come back and do it again.
Yeah.
But
Right.
again, it's all part of the practice. Everybody's gonna experience that time when they don't do so good, and hopefully it just motivates you to get better. But you know, some people quit. Some people don't skydive anymore. Some people quit comedy.
I just thought of something, man. What part of Texas you live in? Dallas?
Yeah.
So if you did go back to Texas, there's a big stand-up comedy scene there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Austin.
Austin's pretty good because it's a college town, so there's lots
Yeah.
of. I have a friend who started comedy around the same time as I did, and she's doing shows and things like that in Austin.
Shit.
Then I have another guy who I've seen him. He was on America's Got Talent. We weren't really good friends, but I mean, he's just a person that I knew from starting stand-up. He's got YouTube clips and things like that. There's been a few people that came out of the Dallas comedy scene and maybe made it big in Los Angeles, or at least, you know, are making it. So yeah, the scene's pretty big there. It's not like a place that you would go to like become famous. It would be like the same thing that I would say about Vietnam. It's not a place to become famous, but it's a place to, what do they say, cut your chops or whatever, you know, like get in your workout, you know, because it's just like a workout, you know, you got to build up those repetitions. You got to say some things, say some jokes 10, 15 times before you figure out the right wording or the right way to say it or deliver it or whatever.
I like that word you just used, repetitions.
Repetitions, yeah.
It's like reputation and repetition.
Just making up
It's a new
words.
word.
This guy's smart over here.
Repetitions.
So yeah, it's like, you know, like I was saying, if I go back, you know, I want to continue doing comedy. Hopefully, I could make it to where it's like, you know, I'm getting paid from comedy, and I don't have to find a real job. That would be amazing if I could book shows like that. Nobody's gonna book you on a show to do a 1 hour or 45 minutes or half an hour if you don't already have experience doing that, you know. So here's my tape,
Special.
you know, here's my recording. I've done an hour. I can do a half an hour. I can do 45 minutes. I can do an hour. So maybe that would help, you know. So it's kind of like a good place to disappear from everybody. Nobody, you know. But then you come back and you're like already, you know, 10 years of experience doing this, and you just come out and boom, you're there. You've made it, you know. But so Dallas would be a place like that to work out things, and then I think most people would go to Los Angeles and try to break into that comedy scene there, or New York. A couple people in New York as well. But it's like starting over, you know. You don't know anybody. You got to make friends. You got to network with people. But at least you got solid jokes, you know, that you can bring there. You go to open mic a few times. Once you're making people laugh at the open mic, then you're gonna get noticed. People are gonna be like, hey, you want to do a spot on my show or something like that. So you start fresh, but you know how to tell a joke. You know how to make people laugh, and you don't have to go through that process of learning and growing and becoming a comedian because you've already done that.
Yeah. And that special will help. Shit.
Yeah, I think so.
I got an hour-long special under my belt. Fuck, man, that's gonna be something big. Yeah.
Netflix called me about my payment plan. I need to fix that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, special, big time, baby. Jeremy's doing his first special. When is it again?
March 5th.
March 5th. Where is it?
It's at Soma, Saigon, District 2,
Nice.
8 p.m.
You already booked the room and everything?
Yeah, that's where I run my monthly show, so I'm just going to make it part of the monthly show.
Nice.
I told them that, yeah, so we've already secured the date, getting posters made, writing up everything.
Yep. Yep. So March 5th, Soma, Saigon,
I
Jeremy
almost
Wagner.
forgot. That's the name.
I almost forgot. That's the
I
name.
almost forgot.
Yeah, great name. Yeah.
I forget a lot of things. I think it's the weed, but I really
It's the weed.
probably not.
It's not.
Just old. I'm 41 now, so. Alright.
Yeah. Come to the show, watch the show. It'll be on Netflix
Yeah.
or Amazon Prime. He hasn't thought. Yeah, he's gonna have a bidding war, and whoever has the highest bid, sell it to. Maybe Hulu.
I gotta work it out with my production manager.
Gotta get a manager, agent, something.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure, my man. Thanks
All right.
for coming on the show.
Yep.
XLT Podcast. Jeremy Wagner. I'm Damien Cole. Thanks for watching.